I really hate everything about kidney disease right now, and doctors, and treatments, and anything else. I had surgery on July 9th to have a new dialysis graft put in my thigh. I did not want to have this surgery at all because, both my arms have already been ruined, and one of them was ruined for no reason because the grafts never ever worked and they had to be removed. And so, anyway, I get the graft put in. 2 days later, I have a fever. I go to the emergency room. They're like, well, we don't see anything wrong, so we're going to send you home. So, that was after being in the waiting room for almost 12 damn hours. Anyway, so I go another 3 weeks just in the worst pain. Like, I'm talking like I can't sleep, I can't walk, I can't do anything. Everything is awful. The pain is just unbearable. I finally get to the day that I'm supposed to see my um, the surgeon for a follow up. He comes in the room. First of all, he's in such a hurry. It's like you have too many patients if you have to be in a hurry when you come in to see your patients. It's unnecessary. You need to cut back on your load if you can't spare some extra minutes for someone who's coming in for follow up from a surgery. So, anyway, he comes in and he takes off my steri strips off of the incisions, and I can immediately tell that they're infected just from looking at them. And then he proceeds to say, oh, it just looks like your skin is having a hard time forming. Just put some Neosporin on this and keep it covered. And then he like threw this makeshift gauze thing on me that he just made out of tape and gauze. And he's half out the door before I can even try to even say anything to him. So it's just frustrating. So, then he's like, just come back and see me in 4 weeks. I'm like, if I had waited the 4 weeks to go back and see him, then I probably wouldn't have a leg right now because cause I'm about to tell you. So anyway, that was on a Wednesday. At this point, it's been 3 weeks since I had surgery. So the following Sunday, I just can't take it anymore. Like, I am downing naproxen and ibuprofen and Tylenol, anything that I can find that will help me just be able to be comfortable for 2 seconds. And it's not working anymore. And it was just terrible. So I came to the hospital. I came to a totally different hospital. Um, and they look at my leg and they're like, oh, yeah, that's definitely infected. And I'm like, yeah, I know, right? So, they run all their tests and stuff, and they're like, we're going to have to take that out because it's infected and your leg is having a really terrible reaction to it. Like, um, my leg just started forming these sores everywhere, or the skin was opening up, or it was just bad. It was really gross. So, um, that I think it was Tuesday when I had surgery. They removed the graft. Wednesday they come in to do a dressing change, and I didn't realize when they had removed the graft, they had to remove an entire chunk of my thigh because the tissue was damaged or whatever. So she comes in and does the dressing change, takes off the thing, and there is a gaping hole in my leg. It's shaped like a swimming pool, like that kidney bean shape. And I'm freaking out now because I'm like, damn, I didn't realize there was a hole in my leg. So, dressing changes are awful. It hurts like a bitch to have your leg packed with gauze, I'm telling you. Um, so, anyway, you would think at this point everything be great because they got rid of the graft and I'm cool or whatever. My leg feels much better, so there's that. But the next day, I start dropping blood when I go to the bathroom. I'm talking about rectally. So now I'm bleeding from my rectum. So now I have to have a colonoscopy and an endoscopy. So they came in from the top with the camera, came in from the bottom. They didn't find anything. Days go by of me just losing blood and them giving me a bunch of blood, and me losing more blood and them giving me more blood, until I'm finally like, at what point is someone from gastro gonna come up here and help me? Like, I haven't seen a gastro doctor since I had the colonoscopy. So I complained about it, and then finally he comes up here and basically tells me I have to have another colonoscopy. So they do another colonoscopy, and they tell me they still can't find the source of the bleeding. So then I had to have a scan where I literally laid underneath this camera for 2 hours. Thank God I slept the whole time, because I probably would have completely lost it. And then they still didn't find anything. But the good news is the bleeding has stopped since. I haven't bled all day today. My hemoglobin numbers are staying at the same level, which means I'm not losing anything. And so I'm really hoping that they just let me go home tomorrow. I am ready to get up out of here. I'm telling you. But at this point, my biggest concern and issue right now is I do not trust these doctors. Like, I switched to a whole new surgeon to avoid having to go through this. And here we are again, only this time it's worse. And it's just crazy. Um, I looked up the infection that I have, and apparently it's very common with these grafts. And the infection is actually inside the graft. So whatever this material they're using, Gore-Tex or something like that, somehow it picks up an infection that can grow inside of it. But my thing is, um, what the fuck are y'all planning on doing about that? You got patients after patient after patient coming in getting these and having problems, and like, how is that okay? Where is there not like a sterilization process for these things, or um I don't know. I guess it affects everybody differently. It's just very strange, and they really ought to come up with something else to give people, because this is crazy. So, anywho, that's pretty much been my last 2 weeks. Well, technically my last month and a half, because I haven't been anywhere, done anything. Just been in the house crying and been here crying. So it's good times all around. But just gotta keep fighting, man. Hopefully all this gets cleared up and I can just get a transplant soon. And that will at least alleviate some of my problems. So just say a prayer for me.